Good morning, students. We are discussing Unit 3, friction. Last class, we discussed about ladder friction. Today, we are going to discuss about screw friction, belt friction, rolling resistance. Recollect what we discussed ladder. See, ladder, this is generally ladder is purpose for climbing. Okay, from bottom to upper. Where is purpose? You can see on the painting purpose, the lamp post, sometimes a lamp post, street lamp post repair. In our home also, we are doing some work. The ladder is always inclined, rest against a vertical wall and the floor. So the floor at a point, B wall point. See, if the friction will be there, then only we can climb. We can go on the ladder. Otherwise, it must fall down or slip towards vertical downward or horizontal left side. Okay. So due to friction only, it can keep the equilibrium positions. So friction must be available on floor and the friction must be available on vertical wall. Okay. So we discuss ladder. So the ladder having in the free body diagram, ladder free body diagram. Okay. This is general ladder. Without a man, this is a general ladder. So you have to find the angle with respect to horizontal or with respect to, see the inclined position, any body inclined position we can measure with respect to horizontal angle or with this vertical angle. Here I measure the ladder with respect to horizontal angle, how much? I have taken alpha or theta. Okay. You know the ladder weight having capital W, it's acting vertical downward at the middle of the ladder. Students, at the middle of the ladder, that is L by 2 distance, L by 2 distance. At A point, floor no. So the ladder is touching. As per Newton's third law, every action equal to opposite reaction. Therefore, RF. RF is upward. Reaction at the floor. So the ladder maybe go to left side. Therefore, friction is right side. FF. Friction at the floor. Similarly, come to point B, that is wall. Okay, the friction must be goes to vertical upward. FW. Friction at wall. It touching, no? Therefore, reaction. See, you have to understand the reasons why we are marking left side, right side, then RW. Don't memorize. Why RW here? Reaction at wall. Why reaction? I told you, any body is contacted, touched, there is reaction. The ladder is action, the wall is reaction. Similarly, the friction, why is upward? Because the ladder maybe goes to B to C, vertical downward. Therefore, friction is upward. Generally, friction is acting opposite direction. Students, friction is acting opposite direction. Why weight is downward? As per Newton, what is Newton told? The up will fall down, no? Due to gravity. So all the weights goes to the vertical downward to the earth. Therefore, the way downward, W vertical downward. Where it is acting? The middle of the ladder. Why here RF there? Because ladder is touching at the floor. The floor gives reactions. The reaction always opposite. RF, that is upward direction. So when you are standing, the ladder maybe goes to left side. Okay, there is friction, opposite direction, that is right side. FF. This is the free body diagram for without a man. Understand? Without a man. Suppose if any man, any woman standing on the ladder. This is without a man diagram. So I marked all the distances. Weight is acting middle of the ladder. That is L by 2. From the bottom at the middle, L by 2, L by 2. That the horizontal distance. Lateral length L, no? The angle we know, theta or alpha. As per Pythagoras theorem, no? Opposite is L sin theta, no? Adjacent side L cos theta. So you have to find out L cos theta, L sin theta first. That is distance. That is what is the distance AB, AC, what is the value, what is CB. Then the weight is acting no. But then what is with respect to A, how much the line of action, vertical direction, what is the distance? You know, L by 2, the theta, therefore L by 2 cos theta. Okay. Suppose a man is standing, students, a man is standing. The ladder, a man is standing from bottom. Suppose we standing, we do not know distance. So I marked D or X. D or X. That means distance of a man is standing on ladder from the bottom A, from the point A. Okay. Therefore, I marked W1. So W1 also weight, weight is actually vertical downward. Okay. Therefore, we want to do the distance also. See here, I marked only I have taken out a ladder. I have taken out a ladder. So to point A, that is RF upward. Mu F means F. Generally, students, F means mu into R. Here we are discussing friction. No, friction means you always think about F equal to mu R, and pi equal to angle of friction. Pi equal to tan mu or tan inverse of F divided by R. Here R means reaction. Okay, so RF is upward, the friction is right side, and RW left side because reaction, the FW upward. Then weight is active vertical downward, no? Vertical downward. But the horizontal distance, L by 2 cos theta with respect to A. Similarly, W1, students, similarly W1. With respect to what is the horizontal distance? We know D is D. We know angle theta. Therefore, D cos theta. Then total horizontal distance, that is A to C, L cos theta. Then BC distance, L sin theta. So you have to, this is a complete free body diagram. This is called a free body diagram. We removed the vertical wall and floor. Okay. Then you see the forces. If forces acting at A, since some forces acting, the weight is acting in middle, and another force acting another point on the ladder, and the reaction at friction at B. So these forces are called what forces? Non-concurrent. Students, non-concurrent forces. Like beam, no, like beam, non-concurrent forces. That means we have to use equilibrium equations. Summation of horizontal force equal to 0. Summation of vertical force equal to 0. Summation of M equal to 0. Okay. Then we started about some problems. In this problem, they asked what is frictional force. In this problem, what is frictional force acting on the ladder? And first question, frictional force on the ladder at the floor. At the floor. Okay. Then show that the ladder will remain equilibrium or not. First, they asked the frictional force at the floor, that is FF, and they asked whether the ladder is equilibrium or not. So the length, everything given. I have drawn the free body. The diagram not given, no. So I have drawn the diagram based on the statement. I have drawn the diagram. The length of the ladder given. So we have to mark 1.625. See how we can mark 1.625? The weight is acting middle, no? Weight is acting middle. Therefore, 3.25 divided by 2. So 1.625 acting. The horizontal distance also mentioned. See here, the horizontal distance also mentions. Distance between the lower end and wall. See, lower end of the ladder and wall, 1.25 meter. They mentioned already. Let's put horizontal distance. Lower end, no, lower end A. There is a wall starting from C, that's 1.25. Okay, they asked what FF. They asked friction at the floor and whether they equilibrium or not. Then I again, they mentioned, see students, they mentioned smooth wall. The question here, a smooth vertical wall. See, if any surface smooth, there is only reactions. Remember, any smooth surface, there is only reaction only. The friction will be 0. So this is our free body diagram, but the smooth wall given, no, though I have marked FW0. That is friction at wall 0. They mentioned, no. Therefore, I removed FW. Now, I told you, you have to calculate other distances. What distance? That is BC. We want BC. So I applied Pythagoras theorem. That is AB square equal to AC square plus BC square or CB square. So we want CB. I taken out CB, that's the left side, and right side AB square minus AC square. So after applying, we got it 3 meters. So I marked. See here, it's a colorful free body diagram. Okay. Then apply equilibrium equations. The horizontal force, what are horizontal force? FF plus RW minus equal to 0. Therefore, FF equal to RW. Horizontal forces Fw and minus Rw equal to 0. Okay, keep it equation 1. Now vertical force. What are vertical forces? Rf minus 250. Rf minus W. Therefore, we know W goes to right side plus W, 250. Equation 2. Now take moment. Students, taking moment. I told you which moment you have taken. A, the reference point you have to choose. Students, any moment you first choose the reference point. Your reference point A or B. For in our question, they asked F of no. Therefore, I have chosen the B is the reference point. So I have chosen. That's why I have written summation MB equal to 0. Okay. And next another step. After selecting reference point, we have to identify which forces are giving moment, which forces are not giving moment. How we can identify? Any force towards or goes from a reference point does not give moment. See at the B point, the RW is there. So RW does not give moment. What are other forces giving? That is W into X2. Understand? W into X2. Students, W into X2. That is anti-clockwise. Okay. Then RF into 1.25. RF with respect to C, with respect to B point. B here, but just to take horizontal with B is here. Therefore, C to A this distance RF perpendicular no. C is perpendicular with B. Therefore, RF into 1.25 clockwise. Then FF acting here. Take from directly horizontal at the C point at the C here. Therefore, FF into 3. That also anti-clockwise. Students, so before that you calculate x1, x2. How do you calculate x1, x2? Already we know we have to calculate alpha and x1, x2. The next step I have explained. So tan alpha equal to, see here, tan alpha equal to opposite by adjacent side. 3 divided by 3.25. Therefore alpha equal to 67.38. So now see here, I want x1. Alpha equal to 67.68. I'll tell you what is x1? That is 1.65 cos alpha. What is the value? 1.65 cos 70 minus 0.625. Then I want x2. So total distance 1.25 minus 0.625. The balance 0.625. Okay. Now take moment with respect to 0. So moment at respect to B point. Okay. So RW must be neglected because acting at that such moment. Now here W into x2 anti-clockwise. Anti-clockwise means minus no. 250 into this distance 0.625. See here minus. Similarly, FF also anti-clockwise with into 3. See 3 here. You take out FF at C because goes to C point no. So FF into 3 meter. Anti-clockwise minus. Then RF into 1.25. Then we calculated FF equal to 52.8. So that is our aim. Second, they asked equilibrium or not. See, whenever equilibrium or not, you have to use the maximum limiting friction. We know FF equal to, we know F equal to mu into R, no? So F is here horizontal floor, no? Therefore, F equal to mu F into RF. Already mu F in the given the question. Already mu F is given in the question. Mu F equal to 0.3. Mu F 0.3. Therefore, so the maximum, see, the maximum friction available 75. Students, maximum friction available 75. But what is our actual 58? Our induced to the 58, but available 75. Therefore, less than 70. Therefore, it's a rest. See here, the amount of force friction available at the point again 75, but is more than the force of record. Now, what is our calculated 52? Therefore, lateral will be equilibrium. Okay. Then we started about this one. Here they asked to calculate coefficient of friction between ladder and the floor. See, the weight is 900 newtons. See here, length of the ladder 5 meter. Angle which makes the ladder with the students. Angle matched with the horizontal 70 degree. So they mention horizontal. Sometimes vertical they mention. So when vertically converted into horizontal, how? Suppose just imagine with respect to vertical 20 degree. What is horizontal? 90 minus 20 like that 70. So here mentioned is horizontal. So weight of the ladder 900 Newton. Weight of the man W1 750 Newton. The man, see distance between the man and the bottom of the ladder. See length is 5 meter. Therefore weight is acting at the middle now 2.5 meter 2.5 meter. But one man is standing from the bottom of the ladder 1.5 meter. See in the question smooth wall mentioned. See here smooth wall. Therefore FW 0. They asked to calculate coefficient of friction between ladder and the floor. Mu asked mu F. See here This they did not given a diagram. I draw the diagram. So ladder length 5 meter. The weight is acting middle, and one man is standing. 1.5 meter the mentioned. The angle 70 degree given. Okay. Now free body diagram. What is a free body diagram? You mention all the values. L by 2. Wait, no, L by 2, L by 2. W1. We know this x distance already. I will explain it. Then we have to calculate L sin theta, L cos theta. Okay. Now see this diagram. Okay. Total length 5 meter. So weight is acting middle 2.5 meter, 2.5 marked. The distance given, man distance no from bottom 1.5 meter, W1. Angle also given. So you have to calculate what? L sin theta. Students, vertical distance, no, what is the B distance? L sin theta. L means 5 meter. Length means length of the ladder. 5 into sin 70. Then AC. 5, that is L cos theta or cos alpha. 1.71. Then another, this is the important. The weight, weight acting perpendicular downward. Therefore, what is the, with respect to A, what is the weight distance? That is 2.5 into cos 70. Similarly, the weight of the man, 1.5 into cos 70. So we calculate 0.513, 0.852. Okay. So again, I used equilibrium equations. What is a horizontal? FF minus RW, only horizontal. Therefore, RF, vertical direction, RF minus W1 minus W equal to 0. Okay. What is a W1? That is man weight, 750. What is the weight of the ladder? 900. So given data. See here, weight of the ladder 900. Weight of the man W1. Therefore, 900 minus 900 minus 750 equal to 0. So RF 1650. See the first equation. We know FF equal to RW. What is FF? Mu F into RF. They asked mu F, no? So just to keep it. Already we calculated RF. Therefore, mu into 1650 mu F. Okay. So FF equal to 1650 mu F. Therefore, FF equal to 1650 mu F. Now taking moment with respect B. Again, I am here. I am taking with respect B. Why I am taking with respect B? Because I want the mu F. Mu F available here. Therefore, so we want distance in the C to C and weight. Weight, I have to calculate distance also. Here. Already A to weight, horizontal distance 0.85. What is the balance distance? 1.7 minus 0.85. So we got the with respect to vertical weight downward and the horizontal distance with respect C. Now take the moment. See the FW0, no, friction at wall 0. Now take the moment. What is the moment? Force into distance. What are the forces? W into 0.855. In this 85 with respect C. See our B point here. Therefore, force into distance. So weight into 0.855. Then W1 into, that is 1.197. Students, we are taking moment B. Therefore, you see the distance, horizontal distance 1.197 with respect to W1. Anticlockwise, no, anticlockwise minus. Then FF. FF take at C. He goes to horizontal, no, at C. FF into 4.7 meter. That also anticlockwise. Then clockwise, RF into the horizontal distance 1.71. See here, FF into 4.7 minus anticlockwise, no, FF into 4.7. Then W into that with respect C horizontal distance 0.855. See here, W into minus, no, anticlockwise 0.855. Then the man weight W1 into what is horizontal distance 1.17. See, we are taking moment with respect B. So with respect to the B, what is horizontal distance? W1 1.97. Then RF into the total horizontal distance 1.71 clockwise plus. So we calculated FF equal to 16. Finally, this equation already we calculated FF equal to 1650 mu F. RF already calculated. So apply in the equation everything. So we got that all the values apply. We got it FF equal to 245 by 85. F what is FF mu F into RF? And okay, FF equal to mu F into RF. Therefore, already 1650 mu F. So left side 245.585. Therefore, what is mu F? 245.85 divided by 1650. See here. Already we know FF equal to 1650. So we got mu F. So mu equal to 0.15. Students generally mu value less than 0.5. Then here also this another very interesting problems. Very interesting. Length ladder given 4 meter. Here smooth wall is not given. Students, here not smooth wall given. See here, resting against a vertical wall. The did not mention is not a vertical wall is not given. Smooth wall is not given. Therefore, FW not 0 here. See, on the angle max with the horizontal, angle max with the horizontal. See, I have directly written action, but in the question, see here, rest against a vertical wall with which max on 45 degree. See, rest against a vertical wall with which max, vertical angle 45 degree. So what is horizontal angle? 90 minus 45. So I directly written, students, I have directly written 45 degree. Be careful. When read the question, be careful. The question they mention with this vertical. So what is horizontal? 90 minus 45, 45 degree. See here the coefficient friction between ladder and wall, mu W given 0.4. And between floor and ladder, mu F 0.5 given. A man, one man is waiting, and the main weight of the man, 1/2 of the ladder weight. That is W1 equal to 1/2 W. The man whose weight is 1/2 of the ladder weight. That means W1 equal to 1/2 capital W. Capital W means weight of the ladder, no? Therefore, see here. This is our given diagram. This is a diagram, but our based on the statement, this is our diagram. W for length of the ladder 4 meter, no? Therefore, I divided 2 meter, 2 meter. Why I divided? Weight is acting downward. Then one man is waiting. They asked the question. What they asked the question? How high? How high it will be when ladder slips? A man is. Therefore, how height? What height is standing? Therefore, I taken D. Unknown distance, no? I taken D. The weight of the man is the mention 1/2 of the weight of the ladder. What is 1/2? 1/2, no? That is 0.5. 0.5 W. See, 1/2 means what? 1/2 is the 1/2. Okay. Therefore, W1 equal to 0.5 W. We do not know the D, so I marked D. So we have to calculate everything here. Horizontal distance, I already told you here, we know 45 degree. What is the vertical distance? C to B. That is L sin theta. What is L? 4. 4 into sin 45, 2.83. What is horizontal distance? It is AC, L cos 45. So 4 into cos 45, 2.83. Now already you know the W with this horizontal angle. With respect to what is horizontal distance? 2 into cos 45, 1.414. Similarly, W1, students, W1, what is horizontal distance with respect to A? We know D angle, double D cos 45, 0.707 D. Okay. And see here FW not 0. Why FW not 0? They did not mention smooth vertical wall. See, if smooth only mention, it take a 0. Otherwise, keep it. FW, RW, FF, you know direction. Now everything you have to solve it. You got in terms of, see, we don't know other things, no. Just to keep it as usual. Okay. Then you take moment. Here the take moment with respect to about A. See, the previous problem I take a moment B because we want the first problem FF, the second problem mu F. Now we want the distance. So you better always take A. Moment taking with respect to A. So at A, if your reference point A, no, therefore FF does not give moment. RF does not give moment. Students remember, if you are taking moment, first identify which forces are not giving moment. So FF not giving moment, RF not giving moment. Therefore, W into students, so W into what is the distance? W into 1.414 meter clockwise plus. Then another W1, no, W1 into what is the 0.707 D clockwise plus. Then RW, students, RW into what is the vertical distance? 2.83. R, because we know A with respect to A, what is vertical distance? B, perpendicular distance, 2.83. RW into 2.3. See here, RW into. Already we calculated. What we calculated? From the previous steps, we calculated summation of RF equal to, see here, RF equal to 2 or WRU. And vertical equation, based on vertical equation, we calculate RW also here. Okay, RW after simplification, we got to 0.625 W. Okay, so FW, we know mu W, RW. Therefore, FW I marked 0.25 W. See here, I marked everything. So already the previous two equations, we calculated the RW, FW, so I marked here. Therefore, RW 0.625 W into 2.83. Anti-clockwise. Anti-clockwise minus. See here. 0.625 W into 2.83. Weight, no. Weight is clockwise. Weight into 1.45. And the man weight, no. 0.5 W into 0.70 D. And the FW. FW how much? 0.25. What is the distance with respect to A? 2.83 AC distance. So 0.25. So after simplification, we got a D equal to 3.22 meter. You should verify. How to verify? D to 3.2 meter. See, our total weight 4 meter. Understand? So man is waiting. We taken some distance, no? So definitely is for 3.0. Oh, okay, our answer is correct, like that. Okay. So the later we solved a very simple 3 problems. We have used summation horizontal force equal to summation vertical force equal to 0 and moment equal to 0. Why we used this equation? Because it's non-concurrent forces. So later problem over. Today we are discussing screw friction. You know screw like this, no? Screw is like this. You know, you have seen already many times. Nowadays, different types of screws are available. There, no, a lot of different types of lifting mechanism coming. This is olden days screw jack for lifting any weight. So I have to rotate. I have to lower the weight or lift the weight. There is a two purpose. Students, we can two purpose. We can use screw jack. This is thread, no? Any screw having thread. There may be a square thread or a trapezoidal thread is there. This is a lever. So I am rotating. So with respect to the middle, the lever length is L. L equal to lever length with respect to middle. We are applying at the lever of applied force at end of the lever. So weight is acting vertical downward. See, generally we are for screw jack, whether lifting or lowering, but the weight is always acting vertical downward. Okay. This is a screw jack. So you have to see that the previous nomenclature of the thread. Asraf, can you read this paragraph?
Screw friction. Screw friction. The screws, bolts, studs, nuts, etc. are widely used in various machines and structures for fastenings. These fastenings have screw threads, which are made by cutting a continuous helical groove on a cylindrical surface. If the threads are cut on the outer surface of a solid rod, these are known as external threads. But if the threads are cut on the internal surface of a hollow rod, these are known as internal threads. The screw threads are mainly of two types, V threads and square threads. The V threads are stronger and offer more frictional resistance to motion than square threads. Moreover, the V threads have an advantage of preventing the nut from slackening. It will be interesting to know that the V threads are used for the purpose of tightening pieces together. Example bolts and nuts, etc.
Read.
Square, square threads are used in screw jacks, vice screws, etc., which are used for lifting heavy loads. The following terms are important for the study of screws. Helix. It is the curve traced by a particle while describing a circular path at uniform speed and advancing in the axial direction at a uniform rate. Or, in the other words, it is a curve traced by a particle while moving along a screw thread. Pitch. It is the distance from one point of a thread to the corresponding point on the next thread. It is measured parallel to the axis of the screw. Lead. It is the distance through which a screw thread advances axially in one turn. Depth of thread. It is the distance between the top and bottom surfaces of a thread, also known as crest and root of thread. Single threaded screw. If the lead of a screw is equal to its pitch, it is known as single threaded screw. Multi-threaded screw. If more than one threads are cut in one lead distance of a screw, it is known as multi-threaded screw. Example, in a double-threaded screw, two threads are cut in one lead length. In such cases, all the threads run independently along the length of the rod. Mathematically, lead is equal to pitch into number of threads.
So here lead is very important. Lead means it is the distance through which screw thread advances actually in one turn. See, if you're rotating, no, if you're rotating one turn, how much is conducted on the thread? You're rotating, no, that's why it is a distance through which the screw thread advances actually in one turn. So lead equal to pitch into number of threads. Then slope of the thread. It is the inclination of the thread with horizontal. Then tan alpha equal to lead of the screw divided by circumference of the screw. Therefore, all tan alpha equal to P divided by P means no pitch. pitch divided by pi d. Is single threaded. Tan alpha equal to P by d is single threaded screw. Tan alpha equal to N into P divided by d. This is a multi-threaded screw. Where alpha equal to angle of inclination of the thread or helix angle. P equal to pitch of the screw. D equal to mean diameter of the screw. N equal to number of threads on the screw. You see this one. This is a diagram, no? The left diagram. See here. A small diagram, no? Tan alpha equal to P by pi d. See the D means, just imagine, this is, see here, the diagram, the D, no? Mean diameter of the screw. Students, mean diameter of the screw. Okay. Pitch means what? The distance between, see here, one screw starting point and another point at another screw starting point. Okay. The vertical height, pitch means the distance from one point to and another point of the thread. So you should remember this formula. Tan alpha equal to P by pi d. Alpha equal to helix angle. P equal to pitch of the screw. Small p. Students, small p. T equal to diameter of the screw. And N equal to number of threads on the lead. Okay. Now we are lifting. Students, we are lifting the, suppose we want to lift the object. What is the force required? See here, lift of the load by screw jack. So after applying this derivation, after derivation, the final equation, the P equal to W into tan into alpha plus pi. See the pi means angle of friction. Students, pi means angle of friction. Alpha equal to helix angle. So you remember this formula. P equal to W. W means weight of the body. Students, W is the weight of the body. And tan alpha plus pi. Alpha means, helix angle. The helix angle. See here, this diagram, the helix angle. W is the weight of the body. P is force at mean radius of the screw. We are applying force at mean radius of the screw. Understand? Okay, not lever. See in the diagram, I mentioned P1 here. That is force applying at the end of the lever. What is P? Force applying at the mean radius of the screw. That is here beauty. So P means force at applying at the mean radius of screw for lifting the screw, lifting the load by screw jack. So P equal to W tan into alpha plus pi. Pi means angular friction. What is angular friction? Tan pi, that is tan pi equal to mu. Therefore, pi equal to tan inverse of mu. Okay. So this is the formula. P equal to that force applied at radius at mean radius of the screw. Therefore, W into tan into alpha plus pi. Then lower. Students lower the load. So this is a free body diagram. Okay, you have to understand the final equation only now. Enough. So P equal to W into tan pi minus alpha. Students, remember, lower the screw. See, P means load applied in the lifting, that is lowering load is applying at the mean radius of the screw jack. W weight of the body. Pi equal to angular friction. Alpha equal to that helix angle. Thread, no, helix angle. This inclination. You see the screw, there is a thread always there. The thread always is a little bit is inclined, not horizontal. But it look like a horizontal. You see the any screw on the bolt. Okay. But the thread always inclined. That is the angle. Okay. So this is a lower. Remember, this is a lower the weight of the body. So I have combined. So relation between effort and weight lifted by a screw jack. Lifting. So P equal to capital W tan into alpha plus pi. It is a lift to the weight, effort applied. Okay. They did not mention force. Just imagine effort. Effort also force. No, suppose you are lifting. How much effort you are giving? How much force? That there's a beauty of engineering mechanics. They mention the P is the effort here. Okay. So P equal to W into tan alpha plus pi. This is the P. See here. P equal to effort applied at the mean radius of the screw jack to lift the load. Mean radius of the screw jack to lift the load. Weight of the body lifted. Me equal to coefficient of friction between screw and nut. Angular friction such that we know mu equal to tan pi. So there is for lifting only one formula. For lower students, lower the effort, lower the body. P equal to W tan pi minus alpha or alpha minus pi. Suppose this pi is greater than alpha, you can use first formula. Suppose alpha greater than pi, you can use this formula. Lower the weight. Okay. Then I want the load at the end of the lever. I apply now P1. See I applied the load at the end of the lever here P1. So the P means apply at the mean radius. At the mean radius of the square thread. But P1 we apply in lever. Therefore, what is how do you find P1? You apply this equation. P into R equal to P1 into L. That is a relation. P1 means effort required at the end of the handle. Okay. L means length of the handle. So if you use these two relations, you can find the P1 effort required at the end of the lever. Okay. So these are the 5 formulas. Lift, lower. Here the P means effort applied at the main radius of screw jack to lift the load. Here P1 means effort applied at the end of the handle. Now you can see next belt friction. You know, you have seen this one. Sawmill, flour mill. See, they rotate, you know. So when it's rotated, one side must be tight, another loose. Then only it can rotate. See, the bottom side is a tight side, upper side is slack side. Slack side means not loose, no, not more loose. Just a little bit. Compare the bottom, the upper side is less friction, not less tension, not less friction, less tension. So this is a driver pulley. Driver means motor. Here motor. Anything rotating, we first apply the rotor motor. This is a driver. This is a follower. You see the sawmill or flour mill, you can see the long belt is there, no? For we are making powder, no? Rice powder or wheat powder. We go to the or masala, no? Chili powder. We can go the flour mill. Nowadays we are purchasing packet, achi masala. Then some masala, no? So we are previously in the olden days we are going to. Now also some people going the flour mill. You see the belt. Okay. So when belt is the friction must be available, the drum and belt, then only it can rotate. So you see this one. Suppose rotating, the belt is rotating most impending in the left side. So the friction is developing opposite direction. See, the beta means the angle of contact of belt. Students, the beta means angle of contact on the belt on the drum. Okay. See here. This is a final derivation, the T1, T2. T1 is the maximum tension. T2 is the minimum tension. Okay. T1 is the maximum tension or tight side tension. T2 is the minimum tension or slack side tension. The beta, no? Beta means angle of contact or angle of lap, LAP. No, overlap, no? So how much the belt is overlapped on the drum. Okay. Class, can you read the definition, belt friction?
Belt friction. Belt friction is a term describing the friction forces between a belt and a surface, such as a belt wrapped around a bollard. When a force applies a tension to one end of a belt or rope wrapped around a curved surface, the frictional force between the two surfaces increases with the amount of wrap about the curved surface, and only part of the force or resultant belt tension is transmitted to the other end of the belt or rope.
See, even though the belt is rotating, the one side is maximum tension. Okay. Just imagine the belt is rotating clockwise. So the clockwise, the bottom of the tension, now maximum in a T1. See, when is a belt rotating, the friction opposite action, no. Friction is the opposite. Suppose the belt is rotating clockwise, the friction is anti-clockwise. So after neglecting some forces is gone, therefore T2 is there. That is a minimum tension. See here, maximum tension or tight sheet tension. T2 minimum tension, slack side tension. Mu is coefficient of friction between belt and drum. The theta, no, angle of contact between belt and drum. That is a lap angle. So in terms of radian, students, you have to apply in terms of radian. What is 1 radian? Pi by 180. Pi by 1 radian. Suppose your angle is 60 degree given. So you have to convert radian. How do you convert radian? Pi into 160 into 60 degree. So any angle given for belt, you have to convert radians. So you remember this formula only. T1 divided by T2 equal to e power mu beta. T1 means maximum tension. See this diagram, you can understand. T1 is the maximum tension, tight side tension. T2 minimum tension or slack side tension. Beta, the angle of contact of the belt. See the angle of contact of the belt. It's not fully contacted. It's only less than 180 or sometime above 180 is contacted. Me given coefficient of friction in Drummond. Sir, for belt friction students, for belt friction, you remember this formula. T1 divided by T2 equal to e power mu beta. T1 maximum tension or tight side tension. T2 minimum tension or slack side tension. Mu equal to coefficient of friction between belt and drum. Beta, sometimes you are taking alpha also, angle of contact. In terms of radian. 1 radian equal to pi by 180. This is the belt friction. Now rolling resistance. See anything rolling, there is a resistance on the wheel is rolling on the road, no? So definitely the friction is resisting, friction opposite direction, no? So rolling the resistance, sometimes called rolling friction or rolling drag, is the force resisting the motion when the body rolls on a surface. Okay, rolling resistance, sometimes called rolling friction or rolling drag, is the force resisting the motion when the body, such as a ball, a tire, or wheel, rolls on the surface. Okay, for this rolling resistance, is just imagine I'm pushing the wheel. Therefore, wheel rolls forward. So friction is resisting acting opposite direction. Just to see this one wheel is, on the road, it's suppose sand road. Just imagine the sand road or no tar road. Definitely some portion the tire will be contacted, not single point. Some portion of the tire may be contacted. I told when it's contacted, there is a reaction always there. So the tire in the here at the contact point, no. So reaction this side, everything contacted. Suppose the wheel is rotating, this goes to the right side, clockwise rotation. So the reaction is not a single point. It's acting all the bottom of the surfaces. So I replaced all the reaction at a single reaction. See here, Rn. Definitely it's acting at some front tire of the part here. Therefore, I replaced all the contact reaction to resultant reaction, Rn, acting vertical upward at point O. Then friction is, wheel is, just imagine, wheel goes to the rotating clockwise, it goes to right side. Therefore, friction is left side. So, I replacing F and R. Students, F and R I replaced. Therefore, that is resultant. Okay. Now, so with respect to middle of the wheel at O point, the B, this is called coefficient of rolling resistance. The B is called coefficient of rolling resistance. So wheel is rotating. The weight is activated. Any bus, the weight is we are sitting. That the weight is goes to the first tire only. Through tire only, this goes to earth. So I have taken a weight is acting went downward. Why I marked O? Because the bottom of the tire is contacted at all the places. The resultant reaction must be at the O point. So we know suppose you want to rotate, you want to pull the tire, no? That's why the force I am applying the horizontally. Okay. So here two forces acting: weight of the tire vertical downward, then the rolling force, applied force P. So the radius, wheel radius small r, no? Wheel radius is small r. So I'm taking my moment with respect to O. Students, with respect to O. So for equilibrium condition, with respect to I'm taking moment. Therefore, MO equal to 0. See here, MO equal to 0. So clockwise moment equal to anti-clockwise moment. Clockwise moment equal to anti-clockwise. What is clockwise moment? P into R. P into R clockwise. Anti-clockwise W into B. Therefore, P equal to B equal to what? Coefficient rolling resistance. B equal to coefficient rolling resistance. Okay. P equal to applied force. P into R divided by capital W. So you have to remember this formula for coefficient rolling resistance. P equal to coefficient rolling resistance. Just imagine, I'm telling, sometimes we can have, we have seen many times some tire, no, when the raining season, in the the mud, sand. Okay, the clay. The tire goes to the half of the air goes to the and the submerged. Half of the day submerged and the mud or the clay. Whether the wheel is going moving, the driver pushing, is rotating. No, the tire is only rotating, not moving. That means what? The horizontal P is increased. The horizontal P is increased, students. That is coils are rolling resistance increases. So resistance increases means it does not know resistance. So the resistance must be less. Then only he can rotates. He can rolls. So that's why we calculated P value. Suppose P is increased, horizontal increases, definitely the tire is not moving. Okay, understand? Therefore, we calculate coefficient of rolling resistance. Okay. Therefore, this is the formula. So today what we discussed? Rolling resistance, coefficient of rolling resistance, P equal to B equal to P into R divided by W. What is P? Applied force. What is R? Radius of the wheel. What is the weight? Weight of the W, weight of the roller. Then belt friction. Belt friction, T1 divided by T2 equal to E per mu beta. Students remember, T1 divided by T2 equal to E per mu beta. Beta equal to angle of angle of wrap angle. The wrap, no, Wrapper, no, we are putting like that. How much is contacted? Angle of contacted. This is the radian. Student, in terms of radian, theta, beta in terms of radians, 180 to 180. Then we started about screw jack. Screw jack purpose, lift and lower. So this is a lift. The P is effort at mean radius. Students, mean radius. P is the mean radius. Effort applied to mean radius screw jack. This is lifting. The B equal to W tan alpha plus phi. Here, lower. That's why I highlighted yellow color. Lower. That will be P equal to W tan pi minus alpha. Pi means angle of friction. Alpha equal to the helix angle of the thread. Here two formula. Suppose the pi is greater than alpha, you can use first formula. Suppose alpha greater than pi, you can use this one. Okay. Tan pi equal to me, we know. Then we discuss recollected last class's laminar. This is the definitions. We discussed about ladder friction. Very interesting ladder. The next two classes, we are going to discuss the problems based on the belt friction, rolling resistance, and the screw jack. So remember the formulas. Okay. With that, I want to conclude today's class.